Welcome to another episode of Fight the Burnout. Today, the episode is actually going to be from one of my trainings, one of my free trainings in our Facebook group, Law Enforcement Career Development. And the reason that I want to bring this to you is it's actually day 4 of our 5-day training, free training that's in there. And it's all about beliefs and belief changes. It's very important that we remember this and we remember these belief changes. So get ready, enjoy, and come join us in the Facebook group. It's just if you just go to Facebook and you search Police Fam, you'll find it. It's called Law Enforcement Career Development. And yeah, let's get you amongst it. Enjoy this free training and of this episode, and we'll talk to you at the end of it. So, beliefs. Beliefs are one of the biggest things, Where do you believe? Belief. What comes first? A belief or a thought? You know, I know. Oh, I know. I know what the answer is, but what do you think? Is a belief or a thought first? It's always a belief. A belief is the first thing that comes in. It's not a thought. A thought comes from a belief. And so when we actually think about that, and we actually go, okay, well, if I have beliefs which create my thoughts, and thoughts create action, whether it's action to do something or do nothing, what do we need to do? We need to shift and change those beliefs. So post up in the comments, what's a belief that you have at the moment that maybe you're not too fond of? I know I used to have a belief, a limiting belief. Post up one of your limiting beliefs, the beliefs that limit you at times. I used to have a limiting belief that I wasn't worthy. I used to have a limiting belief that people were judging me. I used to have a limiting belief that people would leave me. So I would be clingy. I would give everything that I have. I would be, I would self-sabotage. I'd do things to screw things up. And they're still there. I just can recognize them now. Now, the key with these, though, is also they've caused a lot of goodness. Caused me to develop my business to where it is now. They caused me to be an exceptional cop, a caring cop. A cop that people wanted to work with. A trustworthy cop. Cop that people were willing to put time into to help him develop his career. I was a cop that gave two shits about people. So there's obviously the pros and cons of these, but a lot of the times we get focused on the cons of the beliefs. And so in turn it creates a thought pattern. And then we think that, oh, this is not good. I need to, get rid of it. I need to, completely remove it, change it, make it different. When actually it's just a shift in your thought pattern. Because a belief is a belief. And a belief is there since your very young age, which we talked about yesterday in finding your purpose. Now, how does this matter to law enforcement? Well, as I said, people wanted to be around me. So my beliefs that I could do things, the positives that came out of my beliefs that turned into positive thoughts, they helped me throughout my career. They got me into diplomatic protection. They had friends, that I worked with go, hey, you'd be really good for this. Why don't you go for this job? I had sergeants go, hey, why don't you go, work on motorways for a little while after I asked to go. They actually pushed and helped me develop and grow. So they're all very important because they are what makes you you. And the moment we stop trying to remove them or extinguish them is the moment that we start to live. We start to grow. We start to develop. We start to be the best us. So, let's recap the week though. Remember, future vision. Your beliefs are going to help create what that vision looks like. It's going to help create the thoughts around that. Next, we had scheduling and planning. A life with structure is a productive life. Now, sometimes you need to structure in having no structure. You need some times during the week where there's nothing in your calendar. You leave it blank. So that if something comes up, you can do it. Or you can just go have time for yourself. Next, then we went into the purpose. Your purpose is very, very important because it's what drives you from inside of you. What causes you to develop and be you. And when we are us, man, do we shine. Man, do people want to be around us. Man, do people want to see us succeed. They want to do everything they can to help us succeed. So remember, those that interact in the program get the most out of it. Don't let this be digital dust where you come into this group and you sit there in the background and you think about it and you go, I want to be a cop one day. But this belief that I have that I won't ever get there, and maybe it's a really quiet little belief. This little belief that, no, I don't think I'll be able to do it. My mom doesn't want me to do it. My family will get in the way. I need to be here for my family. Well, guess what? As a cop, you can't. As a successful cop, you can be there more for your family than somebody that's in corporate America. Because you do shift work. So you have times when others don't. It's amazing. You get to spend more time with people when other people are working. You get to spend more time with your family when other people are working than you do than other people do in, say, a corporate job, a 9 to 5. So developing yourself will then give you more opportunities within your career. We have to stay focused on that. We have to really remember these beliefs. Now, how do we shift these beliefs from that negative kind of mindset that we have a tendency to get into? Because our minds are designed to protect us. 2 million years ago, our minds were just fend off saber-toothed tigers. And now it's fend off social media. Fend off the beliefs of this person looks better than I do, and this person is getting more success than I do, and this person is this, and this person is out to get me, and this person is, that, this and that, and whatever they are. Beliefs. Our brains weren't actually designed for as much stimulus as they get now. They're overstimulated. And so, when we think about this, what are the 3 most important things? And this isn't from myself. I did not develop this, but Tony Robbins did, and it's golden. So I live by it. He calls it the triad. So think of a pyramid. Think of a triangle. On the bottom, you got language. Now, the language that we use every day matters because that's our thoughts. What we say to ourselves, to others, about ourselves, about others, about what we do, about how we do it, matters. We're constantly saying, I'm not going to make it, or we're constantly saying, this job is crap, or we're constantly saying, oh, fuck, I just deal with shitheads all the time. Well, guess what? That leads us into number 2, the focus. One of the other sides of the triangle, the focus. Where we focus, energy flows. When we talk about something, the language that we use creates and concretes in that focus. The language that we use in our heads are always like, whatever they're saying, we focus on. And we don't want to shut those voices up, but we want to acknowledge them and move them along. Shift and mold and change them and the meaning of them, the thoughts around them. Because what they are is your beliefs that are turning into thoughts. And so when we can shift and mold those, then we can start to dance with them, as I say. And our focus changes. Think about whatever it is that you do now. Whether you want to get into police, think about the career that you're in now, or the job that you're in now. If you're a cop, think about the career as a police officer. This goes into those that want to leave as well, is if we're focused on the negatives of the job all the time, we'll see it all the time. So if you think back to when you first started doing whatever you're doing, I'm sure you enjoyed it because you wouldn't have applied for it if you didn't. And if you've been in it for more than 6 months, you wouldn't still be in it if you hadn't enjoyed it at one stage. And so when you think about that, what was the things that you enjoyed the most? Do you still see them? Do you still focus on them? Do you still talk about them? Do you still talk in that way? Do you still act in that way? Because that brings us into the third thing, is physiology. Do you still stand strong in that position? Do you still, command that presence? It's something in our program we talk about a lot, is commanding presence. As a cop, you command the presence of the room. To make a break between getting the shit kicked out of you and not. You command the presence of yourself. You command who you are. That's it. So for a belief change, we need to change the language around it, what we focus on it, and how we're interacting with it with our bodies. Harvard did a study a while back. Took 30 clinically depressed people. 30 of them. Clinically depressed, different stages of depression, some on heavy doses of medication, some on none. And they had them do one thing. They had them smile at themselves for 5 minutes every morning. For 30 days. Have you ever smiled at yourself for 5 minutes? Do you know how many different beliefs and thoughts go through your head? But you're smiling at yourself and you're looking in the mirror, smiling at yourself. You can't be unhappy when you're smiling. It's very, very difficult to be unhappy when you smile. Especially for 5 minutes, it concretes it in. After those 30 days, not one of them was clinically depressed anymore. They had sad moments. but they were not depressed anymore. Didn't need medication, none of it. 5 minutes a day smiling at themselves in the mirror. Because what it does is it processes all the thoughts and beliefs that are going through your head, and it puts them into a positive mindset because you're seeing yourself smile, so you can't not be positive in some aspect or see a positive. So what it does is it changes the language in our heads, it changes what we focus on, and it changes in our physiology. They all interact with each other. And this is how we shift beliefs. Now you might have a belief that you can't do it. You might have a belief that you can, but that you won't be the best cop. So the question is what do you need to do to shift that belief? Where does that belief come from? It's very important. Figuring out where that belief comes from. Who told you that belief first? I'll tell you this right now, it had nothing to do with policing. Now you might already be a cop and be like, fuck, I'm epic. But you might not know where you want to go to. Or you might want to become a sergeant and you're like, I've applied to become a sergeant so many times and they just keep turning me down. They just keep denying it. I just keep not making it. So I guess I'm not good enough. Or I'll just give up for now. I'll do it later. It'll be fine. I'll do it. I'll just get some more experience. I'm here to tell you it's not experience that it's not experience that you don't have. It's beliefs. Because when we believe in something strong enough, we figure out a way to make it happen. When we don't believe in it, or we have limiting beliefs, our focus is wrong, our language is wrong, our physiology is wrong about it. Then we let those little excuses get in the way and stop us from succeeding. You know, so here's a little story for you. So I was frontline. I had gone back to frontline after traffic. I had gone for armed offenders. Did selection, didn't make it through to national selection because of shoot don't shoot scenarios. My headspace by this point was about 6 months after that. My headspace wasn't so great because I'd been going to a lot of suicides, and so I wanted to get off of section. I wanted to get off of frontline. And I told my sergeant that I wanted to, so I put that belief out there. The station started talking about moving me from section to section about 4 different times, different sections and that, and I was like, this is getting a bit over the top. Then I got a phone call from a sergeant at residential security, which is part of diplomatic protection. And he called me up and he goes, Chris, we've got some positions coming up for residential security. I know you're qualified for PO work, so protection officer work. We'd love to, I'd love for you to apply for the job. And I was like, okay, sweet. And if you're in the US, it's like a shoulder tap. If you're here, even in New Zealand, it's a shoulder tap. It's apply for the job and you're going to have some good odds. Obviously, you got to go through the process. And so I was like, oh, yeah. And at that time, I was kind of like, well, what do I want to do that could be good? What's it like? And so, I had asked him a few questions of that. And then I went into my sergeant's office and I went, Sarge, I've just been phoned by residential security and they've asked me to apply for one of the jobs that's coming up. The sergeant goes, well, what do you want to do? I was like, well, I don't know if I want to, I do want to do it, but I don't know exactly if it's where I want to go to. And then he's like, well, are you enjoying where you are now? What do you ask me? Are you enjoying where you are now? And I was like, well, yes and no. I'm getting sick of them possibly moving me around all the time, talking about you're going to do this section, you do that section, and having all this uncertainty. And he's like, yep, they are doing a lot of that. Are you going to get that there? I was like, Well, no, because it's just a small group of people, and we just work in a little circle at the Prime Minister's house and do our residential security. And he goes, okay, cool. Well, what do you want to do? I was like, I think I might apply for it. He's like, cool. I was like, cool. He's like, go for it. I'll support you. I was like, oh, but I've never done I don't even have a CV. I haven't done, I haven't done an application for a job and all that before. He's like, Chris, you're just limiting yourself right now. If you believe you can do it, you'll do it. And if you don't do it, if you don't, get into it, well, then you'll learn from it. And I was like, well, that's some good advice. So I went and I sat down and I did all the paperwork and did all the, stuff to apply for it. Gave it to my sergeant. He had a look over it. We tweaked it. We edited it. He helped bring that belief out of me that I can do this. I knew that I could do the job. And then I applied for it. And then I had an interview. And I had a friend of a friend, so a really good friend of mine on Serious Crash that was like, he and I used to catch up all the time. And one of the ladies that he worked with was really good with CVs and interviews. So I was talking to my friend Paul just before the interview, about 3 weeks before the interview. I was like, I'm going for this job and that, but I am shitting myself. I have no idea what's going to happen, how to do this, what to say. And at the time, I didn't know my purpose, so I couldn't even apply that to it. And so I remember he went, oh, one of the ladies that I work with is really good at helping people with their CVs and their interviewing. I was like, oh, okay. I was like, I've already got an interview, so that's pretty good. He goes, okay, cool, sweet. So I went and talked to her. She gave me some pointers. She helped me build that confidence. I went to somebody who knew what they were doing, knew how to do it. I went to an expert in the field. She had helped dozens of people get jobs within the police. I went to an expert that knows what to do. And she sat me down. She's like, okay, you need to write out all these different things and then bring them back to me. Examples of things that apply to these. They give you exactly what they want. So I did that. I wrote them all out. I met with her again. And then she's like, okay, cool. I'm going to interview you. And so we did that. We did that process. And it was okay. We did it a couple times and I was getting better and I was getting better at it. And then I went for the interview. Shitting myself going into it. I'm like, what do I wear? Do I wear my blues? Do I wear just a suit? I mean, I'm going to be wearing a suit when I go in, when I'm working in the job / at the Prime Minister's house. I'm going to be wearing just, casual, polo type shirt. And that was, what do I wear? So again, went to somebody who knew what they were doing. Asked them, and they were like, you wear what you're going to end up wearing on the job. So if you're going for a police role, where you're a uniformed police, wear your blues. Otherwise, wear a suit. So I wore a suit, went in there, I did the interview. I stumbled my way through the interview. It was, looking back on it, it was good, but it wasn't great. And I ended up getting the job. I ended up getting the job because I went and I got help and then I applied it. And how does this have to do with beliefs? Because I believed I could do it. I believed that there was that I was capable, that I'd be good at it. I put off a presence, a physiology of confidence. I stood tall. Going into the thing, I reminded myself and vocalized to myself, I got this. I'm able to do this. This job is going to help me advance. I'm going to learn new things. I'm going to experience new things. It's not going to have the aspects that I don't like on front, that I wasn't liking on front line. I had beliefs that I could do it. I had positive beliefs. And I got it. Now here's the kicker. That wasn't exactly where I wanted to go in total. I wanted to be on the protection team that looked after the prime minister, traveled around the country, traveled around the city with him in his car or advanced before in front of him. That's where I wanted to be. You know how many times I applied for that damn job? 5 times. You know what I kept screwing up? I kept getting interviews. The senior sergeant was like, Chris, you're close each time, but I just kept not making it. Did I give up? No, because I believed that that job was mine. I believed that I was going to make an impact in that job. I believed that I was going to make a difference in that job. I had focus. I had language on my side. And eventually, after practice and practice and practice and talking to my senior and talking to the sergeants that were on the panel, after the interview was done and after they had chosen who they wanted, talking to them, getting feedback. What could I have done differently? Like, what was wrong? What didn't I do right? What could I better myself with? How could I develop it? And all the boys on the squad who all knew me, because I was in the office and stuff, it was just a different role within the office, were all gutted for me every single time. And I'd get gutted and I'd get knocked down and I'd have those limiting beliefs come back up. And here's where I didn't go right. I shoved them away. I stuffed them away. Instead of listening to them and going, okay, cool, well, where are they coming from so I can overcome them? I can grow with them. It would have made me get to that job faster because I wouldn't have been as stubborn. Because the first 3, I just did the same things over and over again. 4 was a lot better. 5, I absolutely smashed it. And as I walked out of the room, and the senior walked me to the end to the room, or if you're, it'd be like the role of lieutenant in the U.S. As he walked me out of the room, which he never does, I found out, he goes, "Great job, Chris. That was excellent." So I walked out of that office and I walked into the muster room, into the room with all the other boys, and the boys were like, "How did it go?" I was like, the senior said, "Well done. That was excellent." And they're like, "Whoa, he never says that." And I got the job. And I did that for another 4 years. So your beliefs mean everything when it comes to your career development. Whether it's getting in, whether it's, being in and getting promoted, moving around, doing a different squad, or even if you're wanting to leave law enforcement and you're wanting to go to the next stage of life, your beliefs and what you're capable of are so important. So, remember that. Now, homework for today. I want you to post up and comment down below, what's a limiting belief and what is a positive from it? What's a limiting belief that comes up for you a lot? And what's a positive from it? What's been caused from it in a positive way? I'm sure you can find the negatives, but I don't want those. I want the positives. Tomorrow we're going to talk about implementation. How do we implement this all in? And we have one more little special bonus tomorrow as well when it comes to putting all this together. So, we will talk to you tomorrow at 8 o'clock New Zealand time. And remember, you are the keeper of your mind. I'll say that again. You are the keeper of your mind. So be the gatekeeper of your mind. Work on the things that you let in. Fire the things that shouldn't be there. Fire the things that shouldn't be coming into your brain. So, we will talk to you soon. Get out there, give it hell, and get some training in. Clear that mind. Remember, language, focus, physiology. Stand tall. Stand tall, my friend. So I hope you enjoyed that training and that episode of Fight the Burnout. Beliefs are so important when it comes to burning out. Burnout is because of overworking. But when we have hard, concrete beliefs, it can help limit the burnout. Burning out can be an emotional, can be a physical state. But if we're looking after ourselves and we have the beliefs in looking after ourselves, then we won't burn out. we will take some time for ourselves, maybe, because we're starting to feel a little bit overwhelmed or a little bit burned out in a way, and we'll recoup, and we'll have that consistently in our schedule and our planning, so that we don't burn out, so that we're always being lifted up, and we always have that support around us. Now, should you want to get amongst it, say you're law enforcement or you are wanting to become law enforcement, we do have a program. It's called Mastering Police Life, and I would love to get you along and into it. You just go to knockingdemonfitness.com, and you'll be able to access and join up to that. Or alternatively, you just email me at team@createfromwide.com. And we will we'll get you amongst it. We'll have a conversation and we'll make it happen. But beliefs, remember, are a big thing. We want to make sure that we have positive ones. So we'll see you on the other side. I'm glad you enjoyed, and we will talk to you again very soon. And thanks for listening.